Let's take a look at a basic probability problem involving a die. So we have a six-sided die that's fair. That means it's equally likely that any side shows up. It's not going to be weighted towards one particular event. So in this case, the first step is to calculate the sample space. What are all the possible outcomes that could happen in rolling this die? Well, it's a normal die with six sides, so it's going to have the sides 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's our sample space. One of those numbers is going to be on the top of that die after we roll it. So now that we know the sample space, we should be able to calculate probabilities. Recall that we said a probability is calculated by taking the number of ways I can get the event that I want and dividing that by the total number of outcomes possible. So the total number of outcomes we just identified are 6. So if I want to calculate the probability that when I roll, the number is less than 5, I would have to look into my sample space and determine how many of those outcomes are less than 5. Well, a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4 are all numbers that are less than 5. So there are 4 outcomes that meet my event criteria. So my probability in this case would be 4 divided by the total number, 6, which we're going to reduce. And then you recall that we can express our probability in various ways. So the first one is a reduced fraction, 2/3. Or I could turn that to a decimal and round, so approximately 0.67. Or I could turn that decimal into a percentage and say about 67% probability. Here's another one. The number is odd. So if that first example there made sense, see if you can pause and calculate the probability that the number is odd. All right, how'd you do? In this case, we have a 1, a 3, and a 5 that are the odd numbers out of the 6. So that's 3 out of 6 or 1/2 or 0.5 or 50%. So when you're doing the homework, just look to see if it notes any particular format for your probability. If not, then any of those should be acceptable. All right, last one. Can you find the probability that the number rolled is less than 12? All right, this is a bit unusual. In our sample space, we see that every single one of those numbers is less than 12. So in this case, we have a certain event, 6 out of 6 or 1 or 100% probability.